Well, it's been a great day of podcast excellence here on New Cosmic Knowledge, and we are not finished yet. We've got a great podcast coming up right now. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we have Jay Campbell and The Last Stand. Always a very exciting, informative, interesting broadcast. And you never know what way that program's going to go. And I guarantee you, you're really going to enjoy tonight's installment. So I look forward to seeing you all there and more at 10 p.m. Eastern Time tonight for The Last Stand. Hello, Jason Rios and Moonlight Herbalists. Hello, Diana Rodriguez, Matt Prentice, Tina Bopp, Tracy Dyer, Stephen Reed, Truth Witness. That's a new one. Nice to see you if it is your first time. If I've just missed you before, still nice to see you. Deborah Henry, Nancy Ashell Lady Hawk, and I know I don't get that right. Nancy Ashell Lady Hawk. Smith. Alana Dawn, nice to see you. Anti-Popular Girl. Darius Bodacious, and I do not have an Instagram, by the way. And never, well, I think I did, but I don't, and I won't. Bodacious Transformation. Warrior Princess, nice to see you. Norbert Kiss, excuse me, just took my garlic and I got a little something stuck, I think. Darlene, Metaphysical Mama. Lou Machado, Think Simply. Paula Jean, Joe Stevens, Planetary Protector. Jackie G, David Ford, Pam King, Tess M. Tracy, nice to see you. Michael Murphy, Don Distoli, Shelley Adams, Jackie G, Marsha Price, Glenn McLean, Mr. Bone Dangles, But Can You Dance? Tomboy Gypsy, and R093R R4881T. Jamie Conroy, Rocky Stucci. Shut up. Rocky's in the building. Paul from Newcastle. Heartwalker, Fran, Stacy, Maliski. Lots of people filing into the chat room. So good to see you all. It's always a privilege and an honor to know that you're here watching. Lynette, nice to see you from West Virginia. And it's good to see every single one of you here. If I don't mention you, it just means I ran out of time to mention everybody. And Dog Knows, is that a play on God Knows? I don't think I've seen you before. If I have missed you, forgive me. But nice to see you, ladies and gentlemen. You can see I'm kind of growing out the facial hair because I'm going to be out there in the desert. Thought that this baby face could use all the protection it could get. So we won't be shaving until we get in from the desert. Looks like it's going to be fun. And Joe Stevens is here, and Darlene Nicklau's here, and Jamie Dawson's here. And I think I already said hello to Lou Machado. Yeah, if Rooney came up and licked me, it would take this right off. So I'm keeping him away from me. Thanks for pointing that out, Lou. I know I can always count on you for important facts like that to be discussed. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the last enemy is death. The last enemy is death. And this scripture, like a lot of, oh, that's right, it's Movember. So I'm right in line with the current popular trends. And you know how I like to be in line with current popular trends. So let me lay this on you since I did it. And I think it's cool to set our intention on what we're going to hear and if this will work. So what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, today is the last enemy. And of course, the last enemy is death, according to the Christian scriptures. I think more accurately, according in this case to the Pauline scriptures, the last enemy is death. Now, I know you think you know what that means, but I'm going to prove to you, I think, that you really don't know what it means. And like so many other things, they've been hiding the true meaning of this from you. And when you know the true meaning, it's like the Christ said, when you know the truth will set you free. But the truth that you don't know doesn't do anything for you. Truth in and of itself does not have liberating power. It's only truth that you know about and truth that you apply, which brings liberation into your life. So you can be walking around with all the truth you want. Until you know that truth, until you apply that truth, it's not going to do you any good. Tonight at 10 p.m., Jay Campbell, The Last Stand. It's going to be great. Earlier today, our first show at 10 a.m., as a matter of fact, we had a life coach, Stephanie Lynn. Fantastic show. Make sure you watch it. We did a great show also earlier today. What was it about? It was about, I forget, but it was really, really good. I promise you it was. The morning mantra was good. And what was that about? Oh, you can't spell without language, about the Tower of Babel and the elimination of human telepathy. A lot of good stuff today. There'll be a lot of good stuff tomorrow. And of course, Thursday night, it'll be Thanksgiving, so we won't have any consequential rapscallions this week. And then Sunday, we'll have the Not Your Normal Sunday show with Wayne. We will have The Last Stand on next Monday, the 26th, I think. We'll have The Last Stand again. And then I'll be heading for the desert. And we got a couple days of preparation. Thursday night, I'm going to try to bring you a installment of the Rapscallions from the desert. Schedule permitting. We'll see how that goes. And then Sunday, I think the Not Your Normal Sunday show with Wayne is in danger of not happening, because I think I'll be flying somewhere between Phoenix, LA, and Kansas City at that time. So maybe we'll do it later in the day. I'll talk to Wayne, or maybe we'll just take a day off and let you recover from Black Friday and all the craziness that some of you do on that day. So, all righty then, let's go ahead and let's talk about what we're here to talk about. And we're not here to talk about my travel schedule or any of that stuff like that. Telepathy is awesome sauce. Thank you. I think it really was a good podcast. So I welcome you to check all those out. And is Thanksgiving a pagan holiday? Jamie, that's a good question. Pagan is not a bad thing. Pagan just means either a country dweller. It's kind of like a fancy way to say redneck. Pagan just means a country dweller, someone that's not from the city, or as more accurately used, or not more accurately, but more commonly used. And hello, Dory, Stephen. The word pagan means someone that is an adherent to a religion that is not the dominating cultural religion in their area. So if you're a Muslim in Pinellas County, you're a pagan. If you're a Shintoist in Pinellas County, you're a pagan, because you're not a member of the dominant religious belief in that area, the dominant cultural belief in that area. So is Thanksgiving a pagan holiday? I'm not sure that means what we think it commonly means. I don't think you would put Thanksgiving under a pagan holiday, because pagan usually carries religious connotations, and Thanksgiving is about the only holiday that I can think of the big holidays, that does not have any religious connotations. Now, of course, being thankful and all that, but it's not because of anything the little baby Jeebus did, or anything that was done of a religious nature, or a spiritual nature. It's simply an American holiday. I'd say it's thoroughly American, although I believe our Canadian friends also have a Thanksgiving, although they have it on a different day than we do. And Darlene, which God says not to worship idols? And please, unless you're asking a question, refrain from going all caps. It's considered rude. Doesn't really bother me, but Darlene, don't try to jump my deal here, okay? Because what God says to do that, and who says what are idols? I think you're kind of stuck in the, sounds like you might be a little bit into the Jesus juice, Darlene. You like the Jesus Kool-Aid? So, we're not really in that vein here. And I hope that what you hear here doesn't upset your tummy. But please don't make me put you in timeout and stuff, because it's just kind of silly. So let's go ahead and move past it. I'm glad you love Jesus, but I'm trying to be nice to you. And I'm like Glenn. I'm saying you can worship Billy Idol anytime you want around here, because I love Billy Idol. Somewhere there'll be a video made with Jeff. Look, Jeff's doing the devil horns thing. And they'll make a video about that and prove that I'm a Satan worshiper and all that good stuff. So anyway, oh, I thought this was a Christian place. No, wrong place, Michelle. See ya. Well, bye. Everybody wave bye to Michelle. Oh, my. Billy Idol just became a U.S. citizen? Oh, dude, I wonder if he gave a rebel yell. Billy Idol mooned Gann. That is cool. Did you get a picture? Seriously, Billy Idol became a American citizen? Very, 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 very cool. I like that. I like that very, very much. That's cool. I heard Billy's cassette tapes once. Wow. Yeah, Billy's a guy. I do love me some Billy Idol too, Dory. And matter of fact, the only time that I've ever wore guy liner in my life, I was attending a Billy Idol concert. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I put the guy liner on and we had a good time. Lou, shut up. I'm gonna go Rocky Stucci on you, Lou, and say, shut up. You did not party with Billy Idol. And if you really did, we have to talk. I would love to party with Billy Idol. Yeah, but I don't party, so I would just like watch him party. And that would probably be very entertaining in itself. So let's get off the Billy Idol talk and all this other idol talk. And I'm going to go into my scriptures. So if my moderators would sit up and take notice, I would appreciate it, because we got some business to do here, and we're in the business doing business. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. And I still, this thing baffles me as much as I use, I still can't figure out Zoom. So here we go. Looking again into the writings of Paul, and I still get these dim bulbs that want to just come in and cast aspersions at me and not ever watch a video. And it just makes you look really stupid when you're saying things that are covered in the video, like, why, if you say Paul is bad, then why do you use Paul's scriptures, man? And they almost always can't spell and can't use proper diction, and punctuation is like Greek to them. They can't figure it out. And anyway, you see, I'm getting warmed up for Jay tonight. But the reason I use Paul's scriptures, man, is because Paul is a good liar. And in Paul's lies, he weaves in truth, and also within the writings of the enemy. And Paul is the enemy. He was the first great corrupter of the teachings of Christ, according to both Jeffrey Darty and Thomas Jefferson, who was the third president of the United States. So he wrote the Declaration of Independence. So the guy was fairly smart. And Paul puts encoded, encrypted, yet very plain and blatant warnings to us within his scripture. So I've become a born-again, ardent student of Paul's scriptures. So I'm reading Paul all the time now. And this is one of those times where I just took my garlic and I'm feeling it. But anyway, this is one of those times where Paul is showing us part of the scheme against us, the plan against us. He's weaving it into a very masterful little ditty, but it is very blatant, and I'm going to show it to you right now. And it says this, and it says, for he, we're in verse 25 of 1 Corinthians 15, for he must reign. Of course, we're talking about the God of this world, whom Paul's already talked about. The God of this world must reign till he hath put all enemies under his feet. And just right there, folks, this God that was ruling this world, who I am convinced has been deposed, and we're this close to winning, This God must continue to reign. This God must continue to try to remain in power till he puts all his enemies under his feet. And I think he fell short because he didn't get you and he didn't get me. He didn't get all of his enemies put under his feet. And I think he's been deposed. I don't think he's on the throne of this world anymore, whether he's in Africa hiding in a hole, trying to get off planet, or if he's just been banished to the farthest expanses of the universe. I don't know, but I get the sense that he's not in control of this planet anymore. That's just my sense. I could be completely wrong, but his goal was to remain in control of this planet long enough to put all of his enemies under his feet. And if you're a spiritual being, which he is, then your enemies, really, your true enemies, are other spiritual beings. And those are the ones that he's got to put under his feet. And I'm convinced, ladies and gentlemen, that you and me and our sovereignty are his main enemies. And he was trying to do everything he could to put all of us under his feet. How does he put all of us under his feet? Well, I'm glad you asked, because this is how he puts all of us under his feet. He has to put everything under him. It's manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. So, whoops, I'm in the wrong place. I skipped. Sorry. So, he has to put all things under his feet. He has to put down all rule, authority, and power. He has to put down your authority. He has to put down your power. He has to reign till he puts you under his feet. And here's the key of what we're talking about tonight. The last enemy that will be destroyed is death. The last enemy that will be destroyed is death. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, whose enemy death is. Death's enemy is the he that has to put down all rule and authority. Death's enemy is the he that has to put all his enemies under his feet. Death is not our enemy. In fact, death is our deliverer. Death is the enemy of the fallen Yahweh. Death is the enemy of the fallen Marduk. Death is the enemy of the fallen Jehovah. Death is the enemy of the fallen Lord. Death is the enemy of our little buddy, the rat bastard. The little rat bastard. We're going to add that. The little rat bastard. We're adding that on. So the little rat bastard is the one whose enemy is death. And I'm going to show you why his enemy is death and why he says death has got to be destroyed. And once he can destroy death, he would be done. If he can get rid of death, all his problems would be over. If he could get rid of death, he could put all enemies under his feet. If he could get rid of death, he could have everything under his rule, everything under his control. And think about it. If there was no death, what would happen vis-a-vis you and me? If there was no death, what would happen to you and me? If we never died, where would we be? If we never died, where would we stay? If we never died, we'd stay here on earth, wouldn't we? And if we never died, we'd stay in this world, wouldn't we? And if we never died and we stayed in this world forever, then whose domain would we be under but the God of this world? So the God of this world, who's attempting to blind the minds of all of us, those that believe and those that don't believe, I submit to you. He's trying to destroy death because if he destroys death, he can keep us here. And if he can keep us here, cousins, he can keep us under his control, under his authority, and all of his enemies and all that oppose him would be under his feet. A quick look at the Greek in verse 26, just so you know I'm not pulling anything over your eyes, wool or otherwise. So it says that the last enemy, the final enemy, the one that he wants more than all of them, if he gets this one, it's all done. The ultimate enemy The ultimate hated thing, the thing he hates the most, the thing that he is most hostile with, that thing, ladies and gentlemen, the thing that he wants to abolish, that he wants to render inoperative. Think about that. He wants to render death inoperative. Why? Because death sets you free from this fear and guilt control matrix. Death sets you free from his ability to control you. Death sets you free from this world. Ergo, if you're set free from this world, you're set free from the God of this world. Now can you see why they want you afraid of death and fearing death? And, oh, death, I'm so scared. Oh, death, death, I'm afraid. Now you know how you can say, death, where's your sting? It's gone. Death, where's your victory? Because once you realize that death is your victory, death is your deliverer, that death renders inoperative the little rat bastard's control over you, then you're free indeed. But he's trying to render inoperative death. Death, physical, spiritual. He's trying to render death inoperative. What does death do? Death takes you out of this world. Period. He's trying to make death not do what it does. What does death do? Death only does one thing. It takes you out of this world. He's trying to make inoperative the thing that takes you out of this world. He's trying to keep you in this world. Why? Because he's the God of this world. And he wants to keep you under his control. It's really just that simple. It's really just that easy. Easy peasy, ladies and gentlemen. The last enemy is death. The last enemy of the little rat bastard is death. Death is your deliverer. Death is your friend. Death is your promoter. Now, I'm not saying seek death. I'm not saying hope for death, wish for death. I'm saying do what you got to do. I got business to do. I got a mission to accomplish, and I'll be here until it's done. And when it's done, then that's okay with me if I get out of here. Well, I do not fear death at all. I don't fear death at all. Death is not my enemy. Death is my deliverer. Period. Period. Even more so now that I know that Jehovah, Yahweh, the little rat bastard, is trying to keep me here. He's trying to make death inoperative. I showed you. And if he's trying to make death inoperative, I want it to keep working the way it's supposed to work. Because it works for you and it works for me, because it delivers us from this hellhole, this fear and guilt control matrix. Everybody's going to die. How many of us are going to die for something? How many of us are going to die with something? And how many of us are going to die divine, sovereign, and free, with the ability to choose where we're going next? That's what I want for you most of all. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Being divine, being sovereign, being free. That's what it's all about. And that's why he wants to abolish death, because he wants to keep us here forever. So don't be afraid of death. Don't be afraid of death. Don't be afraid of dying. Just live. Live like this is your last day and plan like it's not, is basically how we want to do it. But know that the fear of death comes from our enemy. This is unindoctrinating yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is creating yourself. This is building a life you love. And we get here by doing the inside job, and it is an inside job. We are the last generation of real humans, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope this last generation will be watching The Last Stand in a couple of hours, because Jay Campbell and I will be there, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the whole thing. Do you want to go to the light or not go to the light? I want to have the sovereignty to go wherever I damn well please after I leave this body. And I think if I get myself to sovereignty, divinity, and freedom, I'll be able to know where I'm supposed to go after I die. Light, no light, whatever, I will know. White light, pink light, blue light, yellow light. I'm going to know where I'm supposed to go because I've done the work. I've done the inside job. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. We are the last generation, ladies and gentlemen, of real humans. Let's get our heads clear. Let's get our heads right. Let's be good to each other. And let's get busy.